Hello everyone, welcome back to the Driver Mod. If you're new to the channel, my name's Anthony. This is my Honda S2000, and today we're going to be changing the timing chain tensioner on it. If you're not familiar with the Honda S2000, the timing chain tensioner failing is a very common issue. This one's still got the OEM tensioner in it. We're at 86,000 miles. I've noticed it starting to rattle, mostly honestly on hot startups versus cold startups. So it's got the OEM one. The timing chain tensioner is located right here on the left side, or the passenger side of the engine block, attached to the cylinder head, right below the VTEC solenoid and oil pressure sensor. And today we're going to change that. This is the timing chain tensioner, what it looks like out of the vehicle. This is an aftermarket one from Ballade. I reached out to a couple people I trust in the S2000 community. Shout out to Jet Performance and Tony here in Central Florida. He specializes in Honda S2000s, Hondas in general, imports. So if you're in the Central Florida area and you need service or repairs on your Honda S2000 or any Honda JDM car, reach out to him. I'll leave a link to his shop and Instagram in the description below. If you are new to the channel or returning and aren't aware, we are offering channel membership. So if you're interested, definitely go down below next to the subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. If you're a returning subscriber, go ahead, hit that join button so you can become a channel member. We're gonna be doing an exclusive giveaway for channel members only in the future. Thanks. All right, so to access the timing chain tensioner, I've seen videos. It's easier to get to it and show you everything if I remove the airbox. If I was just going to do this myself and not record it, I would leave the airbox in, but with it out, makes it a lot easier to see everything and access everything. So we're going to start by removing the airbox. So to remove the airbox, the first step, you're going to go ahead and release all your clips. There's 6 of them. Remove this top portion of the airbox. That's going to reveal your cone filter. Before we get too far into this repair, definitely leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for tuning in. Now let's get started with replacing the timing chain tensioner in this S2000. We're going to start by releasing anything we can from the intake piping. So we've got your mass airflow sensor harness. We've got a couple hoses, clamps, one here and here that need to be released, and then an electrical connector here. And down behind the airbox, got a small vacuum line. Just go ahead and remove that from the box. Pull back on that sensor, push the tab and release it. Using a set of pliers. Remove your clamps. Then go ahead and pull the hoses off. This one is a hard line, so you'll just take that off when you take the intake piping off. And then we've got 2 10mm holding the airbox down, so we're going to go ahead and break those loose. Throw those in the airbox. Push this hose to the side, and that'll reveal your last 10mm bolt. And then finally release the clamp on the intake manifold. Just kind of tug on it left and right. Looks like we got a split intake boot, so it looks like that's going to need to be replaced in the near future. Yeah, got a good cut in it. And then using your trim removal tool, you can go ahead and just release these vacuum lines. Sometimes just giving them a twist will break them free. And definitely in hindsight, just unbolting this will also do the trick. So once you've released the 3 10mm, the intake clamp, the 2 hoses with the metal clamps on them, this sensor right here, and then the vacuum lines from the sensor and onto the box. You're good to go ahead and pull the intake off and pull the entire box off. And just set those to the side. Now this is going to give you a lot more access to seeing what you're doing as well as what we're doing here. So it looks like we found that our oil pressure sensor is starting to leak oil internally in the sensor and into the wiring, so we're definitely going to want to take care of that before it destroys the harness. And then the serpentine belt, that's also going to need to be replaced in the near future. So these are just things to look at while you're in here. Make note of them to come back and replace those at a later date. All right, so now we're ready to go ahead and start breaking down the tensioner. So we're just going to place a little rag down here because we are expecting some oil to come out of that. We're going to use a 10mm and break loose the 2 bolts that are holding it to the block. You can see them here and up here. Break those 3 and remove those. Then you're just going to want to give the timing chain tensor a little twist. You may be able to get it out by hand. If not, you can try and stick your pry tool between that and the, and as you can see, some oil did come out. So this is our OEM tensioner. Or is it OEM? Oops. We'll see. NTN. Now you are going to want to lubricate the 2 new O-rings on your new timing chain tensioner just to help it seat. That way you don't nick any of those O-rings. Then you're just going to align the tensioner with the bolt holes, slide it in, and it should almost like snap into place. You're going to reuse the 10mm that you pulled out of the stock one. Get both of them started by hand. And then finish them off with your 10mm ratchet. Torque spec is 12 Newton meters. Now for the Ballade timing chain tensioner, you do have a couple extra steps if you're compared to replacing it with an OEM one. First, you're going to back off this wing nut. Then you're going to remove this bolt. It is an 8mm. Once you remove the bolt with the wing nut, next you're going to install this piece where you just unthreaded that bolt from. This is your centering bolt with the hollow inside to allow oil to flow through it. So how the oil flows in this tensioner setup is it comes out of the engine into the cylinder head through the timing chain tensioner body, then it goes to this cavity on the back plate here. And then from the plate, it goes back through the bore of this banjo bolt. And then that is the oil pressure that is supplied to the back of the piston for the tensioning device. So we're just gonna go ahead and insert that bolt Start threading it by hand. You're going to use a flat blade screwdriver, and you're going to run it down until it bottoms out. It should go in about a 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch of the tensioner housing. Once you do that, now you're ready to put the end cap on. So now grab your end cap and then the 2 supplied bolts. It only goes on again one way. So line it up with the outline of the tensioner housing and thread them both in by hand to get them aligned. And then you can run them in by hand as far as you can. Then take your 10mm. Tighten those down. Now you can go ahead and reassemble all your connectors that you took off. Make sure it's all seated and buttoned up. Remove your rag. Give everything a good wipe. Now we can go ahead and reinstall the airbox. Alright guys, that completes the install of the timing chain tensioner on a Honda S2000. Now we're going to start it up and see what it sounds like. Sounds really good. You're also going to want to check for leaks. Just let it run for a little bit, get some temperature in it, and monitor it. But that concludes the install for a timing chain tensioner on a Honda S2000. This is going to apply to both the AP1 and AP2s. Please, if you would, give this video a like and comment down below. Let us know how we did. Let us know things we could do better. Let us know if you found it helpful. We'll see you again here at the next one on the Driver Mod. Take care, everyone.